Uh, Today we'll cover about the some of the important questions, important topics, and those things we'll cover it. So to recap what we discussed till now, we discussed about the installations, then prerequisites for the hardware requirements, software requirements for the installation, and Linux versions. So where it will fit the HANA database, what is HANA, HANA installations, HANA upgrades, right? And also HANA Studio administration part, parameter changes, stop and starts, and logs collection, checking the logs, OS level where to check the logs in the trace directory. So and also we discussed about the delta merge, save point, and we discussed about the and backups, restore, recovery, and the HA replication modes, high availability replication modes in the on-premises. So data provisioning, tables, so delta like partitioning. So these and all the main administration topics, each and everything, whatever the basis consultant we required. So everything we covered it here. So to some of the important questions, some of the very important questions. So normally during the interview point of time, what they ask is general questions normally, right? So what is HANA? So there are the I already listed the some of the interview point of time questions, and in my previous sessions I will share the all the details here, right? So here the mainly here, so basis definitely they required the some skills on the HANA database as well here, right? So why? Because without HANA, why? Because HANA database, we have to manage it as a basis consultant. We have to do the, so what this kind of all activities we have to do it in the real time here, right? So the first one, the mainly the important thing it is asking this. Maybe people will may ask you that what is HANA database, right? So what is SAP HANA database here? Right? So this may be ask you like HANA is an in-memory column-oriented relational database management system that allows for the real-time analytics and reporting. Maybe if they ask you, then you can tell like these three main things, right? So HANA is an in-memory column-oriented columnar database. So it will allows the for the real-time analytics reporting, and on fly we can make the business decisions and everything here, right? And also one more important thing is what are the benefits. Suppose if I talk about the benefits here, right? So benefits. So sometimes they may ask you what is the benefit of using SAP HANA, right? HANA, SAP HANA is the database. What is the benefit here, right? So benefit. So there are the several benefits like improve the performance, real-time analytics, simplified the data management, and column-oriented. On fly, we can make the business decisions here. It's a very fast. Why? Because it's storing the data in memory, right? So that's the thing. So we can see it here, right? So uh, and also we can see the in the general questions like what is HANA, so why it is very important, why customers are using this one. So this kind of things they may ask you, like benefits of HANA and all those things here, right? Data management and improve the performance, real time analytics and everything, right? So and also sometimes they may ask you the, so like how do you configure HANA database here, like how do you install or how do you so configure SAP HANA, right? So sometimes, so the like can be configured using the HANA Studio or HANA Cockpit or command line tools, right? But before that, you need to install the HANA, right? First of all, we need to add the systems, means configurations, right? How do you configure SAP HANA using the tools, either Studio, Cockpit? These are some of the monitoring tools here, right? And also, so what are the hardware and software requirements for HANA database, HANA DB, right? So hardware requirements means so operating systems, the certified hardware vendors, operating systems, and storage, file systems, RAM. So these and all the file systems means what are the specific file systems should be separate mount point, data volume size, log volume size. So these and all the main things, right? Software means HANA DB software and HANA DB. So database, client, and server. These are the important things here, right? And the next thing is the what are the hardware and software requirements for the HANA database here. So the next thing is like, so maybe So the what is the difference between HANA Studio, HANA Cockpit? Both are the monitoring tools only. HANA Studio is like a HANA Studio is like a one of the monitoring tool, but it's a Eclipse based monitoring tool. There is a software you need to install on the Eclipse based software tool. You need to install the Studio on your desktop or laptops. You have to install it and you need to configure the systems you have to monitor. So which means Studio you have to install on the each and every user desktop, and we have to do the configurations here, right? That is the one thing, but it's an individual user desktop, it will be configured and you have to access. But in case of it is the cockpit is the one of the, just let me explain about the more about the cockpit here. Cockpit is the one of the web based tool that we have to install on integrated with the HANA database here on top of HANA database, or so maybe any other software, any other operating systems, we can install the HANA cockpit here. Cockpit does not require much memory, much GB also, just it's a cockpit. So just it's a web based URL, you can log in and you can monitor the whatever you do in the HANA Studio, you can do it same thing in the cockpit also here. Just this is a web based one. This is the tool. This is a software which we have to install. This is a web, right? Every user, there is a browser, then URL, they can open it from the, they no need to install any single tool, just a browser they have to open it, then it will connect to the cockpit. From cockpit you need to register the HANA systems, so then you can do the all the work here. That is only one difference here. It's a tool based, it's a web based monitoring tool here. That is a web based here. That is one of the difference between the Studio and the cockpit here, right? So that is the, so cockpit is a web based administration tool here, right? But same kind of monitoring, same kind of functionalities we do here as a here, right? So now next one is the, so how do you optimize the HANA performance here? How do you optimize the HANA performance here? HANA performance. How do you optimize the HANA performance here? So HANA performance can be optimized by adjusting the configuration parameters, indexing, and partitioning. So main thing is the, so parameters, right? In the HANA Studio configuration tab, we do the parameters. So their memory parameters, you need to use that parameters. You need to implement the best practices parameters. Then, and also the indexing and partitioning of the tables. Why? Because every table have more than 2 billion records, there will be a slightly performance issue. Then if you optimize, if you create the partitioning small tables, then performance will be optimized here. That is the one of the important thing here, right? How do you optimize here, right? So here using the parameters, we can control the memory usage and everything here. And also we know how to do the partitioning of the tables. And this way we can optimize the performance and also the space, and also daily monitoring. As part of this one, we need to monitor the space, file system field levels, memory, CPU utilizations, all those things we have to do the monitoring part here. That is the one of the important thing here, right? So how do you secure HANA? And also sometimes they may ask you like important thing, how do you secure HANA database here? SAP HANA database here. How do you secure means HANA database can be secured by implementing the authentication, authorization, and encryption mechanisms here. In the security, we discussed about the how to create the user, how to, what are the authentications, and how to give the authorizations. So if you rightly implemented the authorizations and roles, this way we can secure the HANA database as well here, right? That is the one of the thing here, right? And also what is the purpose of the HANA is a role based access control here. So to ensure uh, only restricted users, the purpose of HANA role based access. Why HANA SAP role based access giving here? So maybe I can put this way here. So what is the purpose of SAP HANA's role based access control? Why role based access? Only authorized persons can only log in access to the authorized data and functionalities. That purpose we have the this one here. And also, so let's some more thing about the troubleshooting, right? How do you troubleshoot the HANA issues here, right? HANA Studio, HANA Cockpit, HANA Trace file. These are the main things we can use it here. How do you troubleshoot? How do you troubleshoot HANA SAP HANA issues? Normally, if any issues, maybe you can check in the Cockpit, Studio, and Trace file OS level. There we can troubleshoot the HANA related issues and everything here, right? And also, then what is the purpose of HANA monitoring and alerting here? Why we need? What is the purpose? Purpose of HANA monitoring. Purpose of HANA monitoring and alerting here. Purpose of HANA monitoring and alerting here. So the purpose of HANA monitoring and alerting is ensure the proactive detection of the issues. Alerting means it's a proactiveness, right? And a resolution of the potential issues here. So if you keep on purpose of the monitoring and alerting, so what it will do, if any proactively, if any errors arises, any issues, then we can, so proactively we can check it out before it go and damage the system. We can fix the issues here, right? That purpose we need the HANA alerting and everything here, right? So how do you SAP HANA, how do you back up SAP HANA, right? So how do you back up SAP HANA here, SAP HANA. So to back up the SAP HANA using the HANA backup and recovery tools, we can use it. Third-party tools also, HANA Studio or HANA Cockpit and some third-party tools also, we can use it to perform this one here. What is the purpose of the, so what is the purpose of HANA recovery catalog? Catalog. So catalog means what is catalog? What is HANA catalog? Backup catalog. What is the use of the, maybe what is the use of HANA backup catalog? What is the purpose of the, what is the use of the HANA backup catalog? In the catalog contains the history of the your backups. By using this one, we can recover the data and point in time recovery, or which data, what age and everything, we can see it in the here. How do you back up the SAP HANA data? What is the that purpose? We will use the, so the backup catalog recovery purpose, we will use the this one here, right? So how do you upgrade HANA? How do you upgrade HANA database here, right? So which tools you use to upgrade the database here? HANA HDB LCM tools you use to upgrade the HANA database here. Prerequisites, OS level versions and GCC libraries are very important here, right? So that is the one thing here. So here the main thing is here. So these are the some frequently asked question during the interview point of time. And also they may ask you the sometimes like, what is delta merge? What is delta merge here? So delta merge is the operation. It will move the committed transactions from the delta storage to main storage. So that will happen when the transaction commits. That will happen here. Then, so what is save point here? What is save point? Save point is the mechanism. It will run every 5 minutes once. Every 5 minutes once the save point. So it will move the data from the in memory to and disk layer format. It will move the data here. That is called the save point interval here. That is the main thing here. Save point interval here, right? So delta merge, save point, upgrade, so backup catalogs. And one more important thing is, so how do you stop and start the, this is a normal, how do you stop and start the HANA databases here, HANA DBs, HANA DB. So you can use the HDB stop, HDB start, or HANA, the SAP control command you can use to do the this kind of functionalities here, right? That is the one thing here. Then the next thing is like, how do you stop, right? Why it's not coming? Yeah, how do you stop and start the HANA database? Okay. Let me take a notepad then. Size, font. Okay. So how do you stop and start? Do you know SAP control command or HDB stop, HDB start? List of HANA process. List of HANA process. So we have like name server, index server, preprocessor, and web dispatcher, access engine. So these are the daemon. These are the 7 core process in the HANA database. So in the latest version, we have the HANA local secure storage. There is a one more additional process total. So 8 process we have in the latest version of the SPS 08. There is a LSS concept SAP introduced it here. HANA secure storage process here. And the next one of the important thing is the list of HANA process, right? So here logs, how to check the how to check the HANA logs, not trace logs. So in the trace directory or diagnostic files at HANA Studio level, you can check the HANA logs here. HANA logs, you can check the those things here. How to check the HANA logs means that is the one here. How to check the HANA logs to troubleshoot the issues and everything here. Right? So backups, how to take the backup means HANA Studio or Cockpit that we know. Right? And also yeah, parameter changes, that is we know configurations tab, there we can check it out the parameters, right? How will you identify which parameters require the restart or not, right? There is a how will you identify which how will you identify for which parameter restart is required or not? How will you identify whether restart is required or not? Restart required is required or not? So there is a HANA, the help document, right? There we can find out the if the restart equals to false or true, then based on that we can identify it here, right? That is the one of the help.sap.com. There is a parameter reference blog. There we can find out the all the details and everything here, right? That is the one thing. So HANA replication and operation modes. HANA replication and the operational modes. So on the operational modes here, replication and operational modes. Replication means sync mem async. Operational modes means here. So we have the log replay, delta data shipping here. That is the main thing. What are the conditions to apply? So here to perform the replications, both the versions should be in the same version, and both the SIDs, instance numbers, and host name should be different. Same version, and we can are higher than the the second primary it should be there. Then only the replication will works here, right? HANA replication and operation modes here, and we can and that is the one of the thing here HANA applications. And what do you think main thing here? HANA the main initial things only they will I may ask you the replication modes availability. And so the main thing is like how will you identify the parameters restart is required or not? And modeling, right? Modeling side, development side, that much of things is not required. Key feature, yeah, yeah. One more thing is the difference between other databases, other DBs, and HANA DB. The differences, HANA is the in memory, other databases, the disk storage level here. What is the uh, and HANA architecture of the HANA components and everything here. Like HANA process, you need to explain here, right? What is the role of the index server? What is this is very important. What is the role of index server? One of the important thing here, role of the index server here. And So how does HANA use the column storage? By default, it will use the column store only. What is the purpose of the studio means monitoring tool, and HANA startup procedure means, so first row store tables HANA startup procedure, like during the starting time, what exactly will happen here. So first row store tables, then column store tables, then so roll back, roll forward. These statements will happen, right? That things you need to explain, right? And also HANA optimization. So and DBs. Yeah, difference between system DB and tenant DB here. Difference between the system DB and the tenant DB here. Tenant DB here. And also you need to, and also HANA 1.0 difference and HANA 2.0 difference. Single container, multi-container here. There is a system DB, tenant DB concept here. System DB only monitor all the tenants here up to 20 tenants we can create it, except default one here, then 19. So these things, and these are the main important things here, right? And also then troubleshooting, that one, HANA support text analysis, that one we know. And procedures, okay, role, main thing, replication, check. These are the, actually, this one, still if I think it out. So still if I think it out here, HANA, what is the performance means the memory parameters, that one we can see it here. And purpose. Yeah, I think few more things I have listed in my previous sessions, one by one. I will share those playlists as well. So directly point of time questions. I think these are the main important things you need to concentrate in the during the technical point of questions and everything. Okay, and that is the one. And just to do, main thing is you need to perform the, why, because when you join the organization directly you won't get the access to, you won't get the you won't perform the directly upgrades, so replications and these things. So monitoring is the main important thing here. So you need to clearly check the logs, what's happening in the HANA database level. These things you need to check it out here. So that is the main important thing here, right? That is the one thing here. Mhm. Okay. So any other things anyone wants to highlight? I will give you one assessment. So what I will do, I will give you one assessment just to, maybe if you are interested, just to complete those questions and answers. So let's see. This way we can try new one. Any other things anyone wants to highlight?
Hello, Ravi.
Yes.
Any certification we also required for the syllabus, like basis
Yeah,
and the.
maybe if you want to write the HANA administration certificate, there is a C underscore DV ADM, there is certification is there. So that certification you can write it out. So HANA, previously it's like kind of a C underscore HANA tech underscore 18 or 17 is there. That is called the HANA. So administration 19 is the 19 SPS 07. I think it's got changed, I think now. It's kind of a 2019 is the latest. So 19. Then, so they are renamed to the CBC underscore DB admin now recent certification. So these certifications you need to write it. This is the certification code for the DB administrators. So each and everything will cover it here. So let's see the some of the questions here, what we have here. Right. So DB administration. You want to perform the prevent the changes to system properties in the tenant, which configuration file stores block listed parameters here, right? What scenarios? These are the some differently. Which scenarios are supported database copy, backup, restore, recovery, target missions? In which situation can failure recovery or productive in a database? So aborted of the abort of the complete backup or catalog backups. So which tool do you reinitialize a recoverable system databases here, right? Recoverable system databases here. Recovery utility, and okay. So there are some questions. Yeah, this is the certification code for the exams.
This certification includes basis also, right? Basis
No,
and
this
HANA
is only
DB.
for the dedicated to the DB administrator of the HANA database. So in case of basis,
Okay.
then there is a C underscore TADM, C underscore TADM 24, I think. 24. Yes, this is the system administration technology. Yeah, this is the latest, I think, T underscore TADM. So you can prepare this one. 65 cutoff score actually. So if you follow the dumps also, you may get it out here. So BTP related thing. So P underscore. So BTPA 2408. This is the dump. That is the one. Okay. Copilot is answering everything. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
So please prepare it. Any issues, just ping me on this my number. Okay, I'm available. So just practice it. Main thing is the troubleshooting.